My friends, please do me a favor and take a good look at Paris right here. It is bafflingly beautiful, just really shining here in the night together, of course, with the infamous, or well, famous Eiffel Tower at this point. Initially, of course, everybody hated it, but everybody grew to like it. Now, this is beautiful, but it's not reality, because when you actually take a look at this, you can see that everybody here absolutely loathes the French. France has no allies, and even I, in recent decades of this playthrough, have decided, well, maybe the French aren't really our best friends. They were actually pretty close to joining a couple of diplo plays against us, ultimately never materializing this, but yeah, we really haven't had a good relationship at all. Now, they are conciliatory with us, which is good, because our relationship is a -46. But honestly, there's something far more important. We married into France a while ago. Now, there is an oddity when it comes to the French dynasty, of course. Do recall, France collapsed into a republic, and now they are a monarchy again before the divided monarchist journal entry was finished off, which let them restart it. And that has led to the old monarch disappearing. It's a bit weird, but don't think about it too hard. And for this guy to come in, King Henri de Bourbon. Now, I will tell you, I wasn't too really interested in this because, well, okay, you're a legitimist. Yeah, sure, you're super reactionary. We aren't really reactionary, but you are our dynasty. But let me tell you, there's a detail here that made me think maybe we really gotta become friends with the French after all. And that is that Jean de Bourbon is actually Spanish. He is one of ours, folks. He belongs to our branch of the family for real, because, well, maybe he grew up in our court or something. I don't know the details there. Obviously, that is primarily roleplay heavy, but I will tell you that maybe I actually am much less favorable to the NGF, to the North German Federation under the Germans. Who's this? King Joachim. I hate Joachim as a royal name, okay? I detest it. Anyway, maybe we stand relatively, opposing the German plan to unify. We do, of course, oppose also the the Italian plan to unify. So there is that. What I'm going to do for the time being is I will improve relations with the French. I believe that I've rivaled the Russians, indeed I have, and we do have a defensive pact with you. I'm going to go ahead and rival the Austrians, but then... Now, I do think that after I realize that the Bourbons are coming back in France and they're coming back big time, I think I want to side with France more than with the NGF. As soon as I can, I will dissolve our pact with North Germany. Not to say that I won't use them if they're favorable in any diplomatic plays, but I think I need to signal to France you don't stand alone. Because currently, yeah, they are literally surrounded by enemies and by us. We can become their sole friends. But listen, all of that aside, let me just say a couple of logistical things, and that is that, of course, the next update to the open beta, where military works yet again a bit more, is right around the corner at some point in this week. I don't know when it is going to come out, but I've decided this episode and then another one, and then this series is over. So today and then tomorrow, and then this series is done. That means that, well, Thursday there is a slot for a new series in case the new patch comes out. If not, then we'll see what we'll do. Anyway, that means that we have to wrap it up. And to wrap it up, obviously, I want to do some funky things. We are looking at a pretty good technological thing. Ignore the military. I am severely under-exploring my opportunities here. I think we don't even know what actual machine guns are yet. That's not good. But we are looking at a great situation when it comes to the industry. What we're going to focus on are consumer goods, because we have, of course, been struck by the pebrine epidemic, and it hasn't been good. Our main creation when it comes to clothing has been severely hampered. You can see this right here. Valencia is suffering from a silk shortage because, well, yeah, silk isn't doing all too hot here. Obviously, we want to keep that going, and we want to restart the engine there, I should say, of the Spanish economy. But I also want to pivot into a new age. And I think that new age will be telephones, it will be cars, it may be radios. We're going to find out about this. And I'm going to explore that heavily, because I want to see just how much we can export of these things into foreign markets. In the past, that wasn't really possible, which really sucked. Maybe it will now work. And the other thing is that since I am one of the two people that are behind the Victoria Tweaks mod, I have made some changes as well. I have witnessed, what is going on here, and I have seen that there is an obscene amount of urban centers that start existing in this particular version of Victoria 3. This means that, you can see it right here, if you produce at full capacity, and I'm not even using covered markets, what happens is that services are massively overproduced. I have now intervened here, and you're going to see the effect as soon as I unpause, but basically, we will now have less or fewer levels of urban centers, and this will also come, by the way, in a future public patch for Victoria Tweaks. These urban centers produce fewer services, making it so that transport becomes much more important for your population, and that later on, I think, But cars and indeed phones should also become much more important for your population, because both of these are used indeed as exchange for the communication, for the free movement need, and indeed, I don't think for the art need. No, that is fine art in itself. So that means we should see a bit of a market change there. I'm going to inform you about this, but I really like this because I think that building a consumer economy should now be much more closely tied, not just to services because those are always cheap, but rather also to your capability of producing radios, of producing, well, radios, no, phones, of producing cars, and of course transportation. We're going to see this, but I'm excited because it is now time to become an imperialistic consumer economy after all. And you know what? I'm basically doing, I have to admit this, a 180 on our foreign policy. I am going to end the defensive pact that we have with the British. I really want to signal to France, I am not with your enemies. And honestly, I have been thinking about the British, okay? I might even cancel the trade agreement. I might even cancel the trade agreement because they are doing something that I really cannot endorse, and that is directly go against our fabrication of clothes. They're importing it to us because they are producing it cheaper, but that means our clothes are turning less of a profit, and they can do that without any tariffs because of the trade agreement. I think I might just cancel this. I don't care really about anything else here. How is Britain doing when it comes to my exports and imports? Am I even trading with them at all? I don't think I am. Yeah, wow, this trade agreement, I've just reviewed it, and it's only bad for us, so I'm gonna go ahead and cancel this. What you can see right here, by the way, is I also changed how infrastructure is generated. They're gonna catch up, they're gonna build more railways, don't worry about it, this is all temporary. It just requires that they actually, you know, make use of the service of trains. I'm gonna go ahead, yeah, and cancel this trade agreement right here. I would like to break this pact. Sorry, buddy, but I'm no longer interested in that. How about the US? I think the US are fine. See, the changes that I made are changes that I noticed when I looked over all the data, over everything that we've seen here, and I think they're required. There's still more changes to come, and I think more changes that the devs have to make. I've loaded this change quite a bit, where they made it so that there is no longer an end-game full employment wage spiral, but more importantly, there's still something to fix here. I think it is related to the local goods at this point. If we take a look at railways, and take a look at the service that only railways generate, just for the record, transportation is a good exclusively created by railways, you will see that we are, and Britain are, the only ones to really have an extensive railway network in 1884. That is obviously not good enough, which is why I now nerfed where infrastructure is coming from other sources, so that the AI has to build a couple of railways. This is actually important because railways are a substitution good for services, and if services are underproduced, the primary way to tackle this is transportation, cars, and so on. Whether it's gonna, you know, actually be of use, we are going to see, but those are the changes that I made here indeed. And we have now completed the Suez Isthmus survey. Now I'm gonna tell you, this is really tough in this version to actually fill the Suez Canal building, and getting the Suez Canal to work, it can take a while because nobody lives there, which means that you can't really fill that building to begin with. And unless you fill that building, obviously the building doesn't work properly. We will build the canal. I will absolutely do it. I just don't have hope to reap the rewards anytime soon. This would be so convenient for us because we're trading so much with China and with Japan, but yeah, my hopes aren't up here. And oh my god, a dubious claim. Event in the Niger Delta. Denmark has taken notice of our colony in Niger Delta, attempting to enforce their claim on the region by demanding we cede the colony to them. Remember, they and we colonized the Niger Delta, and then we both got claims on each other because of the way colonies and colonial claims work in VTM. This is what happens right here. If you get a big enough colony, then you basically get a major or minor colony, you get a claim, etc, etc. It's there to spur conflict, and that conflict is happening now. We took it from Denmark. I asked them politely, under threat of violence, and they said, yeah, sure, here's your land. And now they're coming back. The Danish have a tendency towards the theoretical, don't they? Whereas Spanish people have always been pragmatic. We see an opportunity and took it. Now we must suffer the whining of those who would rather talk about which opportunities they plan to take in the future and begrudge us what is already ours. What does a claim matter when we got there first? Well, okay, that's debatable, but I will not give this up. Come on, that's a nightmare for me. This is a beautiful location right here, getting us rubber as well. I really gotta pump up those numbers when it comes to producing automobiles. And you know what? Let's actually start with this. I'm gonna go ahead and just say, and I think the numbers here are incorrect, but I will immediately start producing cars. And we're gonna see what happens here, right? So we got cars now. Obviously, initially there is no demand, but then the buy orders set in. And let's see how that goes after week 1. Okay, so this is basically where we max out. 618 are being demanded. That's not too bad at all. And now we can start exporting. Wow. Cars, since now services and transportation are no longer super cheap at all times, are actually a great alternative. Cars seem to be working out. And the British are even making a lot of cars, and yet they still have a bit of a shortage right here in Britain. Oh, that is so cool. So the car industry is now actually profitable with the made changes, which means I probably want to build up more of that. Now, I did also induce an immediate shortage in engines. Obviously, we're gonna, let's move against that. I do not like to have a shortage. A high price is fine for the time being. Obviously, we're gonna build up more there, but a shortage is just always truly terrible. And what is happening here? Aid for the silkworm farmers. The laborers of the silk plantations in eastern Andalusia have been affected significantly by the loss of their silkworms to pebrine. They have petitioned the government for financial assistance to replace lost wages. Yeah, actually, I am an industrialist government. You know what, buddy? Why don't you shove it, pal? Oh, and would you look at that? We can now actually also found yet another company. Now, at this point in the game, I think economically speaking, listen, I'm a good player. Not to toot my own horn, but I play the game better than the AI. That's just what happens if you play grand strategy games for long enough, which means, economically speaking, I don't care about any of these benefits. Yes, the throughput and the construction cost is great, but I'm already past the point of no return where I dominate, which means I probably want to look at something else here. I do like the colony growth speed, but we can't really get this going. Infrastructure, that is nice. Spanish forestries, that is a decent bonus, but I can build railways all the same. More oil. Honestly, that is the one point where I'm like, that would be great for the economy. But you know what we're going to go with instead? This is it. 10% army offense. That is great. And, well, our tooling workshops will always be profitable, so this should be a great chance indeed. You know what? I really got to build up our arms industries. This is embarrassing what is going on here. Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay. Ooh, and our Gran Colombia interest is disappearing. We had Venezuela here in our market for a while. And now they are in the Austrian market. Well, that is interesting. That is fascinating. I think we're going to reassert authority here. I don't necessarily want them as a puppet. That's not really what I care about. But this market is my market. Austria really needs to be punished here, I think. And there you go, the root of the problem. This is a very event-heavy playthrough so far, or rather, episode, I should say. Following research into the nature of pebrine, we have successfully discovered both a fungus that is the cause of the disease and a method to prevent it from spreading through silkworm farms. We're now capable of applying the discovered methods to clear our farms of the infection. A method of mitigating the pebrine epidemic through the Encourage Agricultural Industry Decree has been discovered. Obviously, I like that. Share the cure with other affected nations. I don't think so, pal. I don't think so, pal. Can I see somewhere whether other nations are actually affected here? They are pursuing natural borders. I mean, I can't really fault them here. But oh no, they are actually also experiencing the pebrine epidemic. We could live with the prestige here, but honestly, I need to see how much this actually impacts the relations, right? So, where are we going here? We are at minus 41. We are still at minus 41. I think they get an event or something that we share it with them. I'm at minus 51 now? Why did it get worse? Why did it get worse? Two Sicilies gave us an obligation. I guess the French just said, screw those guys. Wow. I kind of hate you, buddy. I kind of hate you. Alright, but now to actually solve it, I need to go and encourage agriculture in these two provinces. These are our silkworm provinces right there, and then we should be able, after a year, to close out the entire journal entry. Very cool. You know, I really gotta tell you, it was just an event decision where the French said, no, we're not gonna owe Spain, a fellow great power that we don't like, an obligation. But honestly, I'm actually kind of taking that personally. I'm sorry, they may be our dynasty, but we're no longer on speaking terms here, okay? I'm gonna stay allied with the NGF, screw it. Alright, but all that aside, and our booming automobile industry ignoring here for a moment, despite me really enjoying doing that, I think I would like to claim all of Sokoto as a protectorate. Ultimately, I would like this entire area, and maybe even Egypt, to be our chunk of Africa. There's a lot going on there, and a lot to make money with, so let's hope that they just give in, although I kind of doubt it. I really suspect that somebody's going to jump in against us here. I can always back out of it if need be, so let's just check this out. I gotta say that so far, nobody's joining in on Sokoto's side. Germany I could call in because of an obligation. I could transfer my own subjects. We really don't need them here, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Sulu is definitely a bargaining chip. They've been a bit of a pain in my behind. They don't really do much. I don't really care to have them here. Yes, they are not bad, but there's so many different colonial territories, and, well, North Germany is in control of the Dutch East Indies. It was handed to them when the Netherlands had a civil war. So I'm thinking, at whatever point we can give the Germans this and, benefit from them joining our diplomatic play, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, and this campaign proper shouldn't be a big deal. We are already attacking their capital state, which means even just after this first battle, they can go below 0. This is done, which is obviously very, very good for us. I don't want this to be a prolonged war. Honestly, had Britain or had France jumped in against us here, I probably would have just, forfeit. I mean, it's just, payments to Sokoto for like 5 years? Not that big a deal. If you look through things through these markers where you can see directly the manpower of the armies, or rather the manpower remaining in the armies, this is such a tragic affair. We came in here with 94,000 troops. We have 80,000 left. They came in here with 98,000. 40,000 troops are currently actively serving in their battalions. Yeah, that is a devastating loss for the Caliphate of Sokoto. They will definitely not keep it together here. And oh my god, that is so sad to see. We are now finally seeing the rebellion of the Republic of San Marco, but it doesn't even include quote-unquote San Marco. If you didn't know about this, there are plenty of changes in 1.5 in the open beta to how Italy forms, which is why I'm excited next week, or well, in this week coming up, to play anybody in Italy. I want to explore that stuff, I want to see what that content feels like and where it goes, and this is part of it. You can see there's a bit of a localization error here with RSM Revolt name, but don't worry about it. If they were to win, it would fix the name. But they didn't even get Venice. So this is a cultural secession, and yeah, they got completely screwed over. Even if I wanted to help them, I couldn't, because I literally cannot reach them. And more importantly, wow, the Italians are just watching. Sardinia Piedmont, I suppose, has given up on forming Italy because Two Sicilies is under my control. And everybody else, I'm pretty sure, just joined the Austrian market. Look at that. That is unbelievable. Northern and Central Italy are unified, and then I came in and took the south. Hey, you do what you gotta do. Nothing to say about it. And oh god, Mexico just got turned into a dominion by Britain. That is nasty. Whew. And here comes communism. The time is now, I guess. Oppressor and oppressed. As our industries have grown more and more crucial to the future of the Spanish nation, so too has the working class. Disparate workers' movements have begun to unite under the cause for socialism. So I think this is triggered because the rural folk are communist now. They are a non-marginalized group that is indeed communist and goes very heavily here against the status quo. And let me take a look at your fella, Antonio Pajaron. Oh, he's hated. That is not good. So this is also new content. The new journal entry here has been reworked when it comes to the specter that haunts Europe and that haunts, of course, our country right here. I want to take a look at this. As storm approaches, labor pops in Toledo become more radical. So we didn't get, just for the record, we did not get the springtime of the peoples, because when we did have radicals, those radicals were like pretty happy. They were saying, yeah, okay, democracy would be cool, but hey, it is what it is. And this now means that, first of all, we got the telephone as well. Very nice. I have to take a look at this new journal, and wow, what is going on here? Plus 1.36 from states in turmoil. Plus 1.74 from states with living standard under expected, the expected living standard. 0 from states with loyalists, that's not good, so I guess you can mitigate it. Minus 90.9 from policing and home affairs institutions. Oh, we have a pretty good police, so we can counteract this. From interest groups supporting Council Republic, and from popularity of characters supporting... Oh, because this popularity is negative, it actually helps us. So basically the way this works is that this bar fills the more our workers are suppressed. And if it goes pretty high up, communist, anarchist, and vanguardist characters will appear much more frequently in Spain. If we manage to let this time out, firebreak, the Spanish socialist movement will be weakened for the near future. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think our fastest way towards not seeing the communists is technically to stop investing, kind of, and just go down here. Which means we would have lower taxes, which would mean, of course, that we get more loyalists, less radicals, and the timer would, tick up more slowly. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna capitulate to these communists. Are you joking? In this economy? I don't think so. I will instead, just say, hey, what about some secret police? What about suppressing you, you buffoon? And we're going to see whether it works. We're going to see if it not works. If we hit the threshold here and indeed have to eat communism, so be it. It would be, a bit of an interesting dynamic internally. It has been revealed that Louis de Bourbon of the Catholic Church has been having a secret affair with a member of the clergy. His resignation is being demanded. My son. You're having affairs? I think I'm gonna ignore that. I'm gonna ignore that. I didn't even realize this. Oh, he's not the leader of the Catholic Church. Oh, okay, so basically, right, he's an actor of the Catholic Church and the game is mad at him. Ooh, when he ascends to the throne, he's going to be an unpopular candidate that kind of favors theocracy over monarchy. We'll see. Man, there are going to be chaotic times ahead, let me tell you. Right, anyway, we are building the Suez Canal, and I just realized that we, of course, have a lot of bureaucracy lying around. I'm going to use this to survey a skyscraper site. I think that's a great choice. I would like to build a skyscraper. Don't really care about the Panama Isthmus, so that's none of my concern. All right, but let's get back to the economy. We can now build electrics industries, which means we can build phones. I also gotta build... Actually, no, I don't have to build this. I just have to change our production method here for the railways because, well, apparently we need more infrastructure, and this should indeed give it to us. Almost, anyway. Anyway, my point being here is I will now build, after the massive success that is the car manufacturing, at least as I understand it. Yep, take a look at this. Our car manufacturing, we are exporting it into the world, and of course pleasing our pops as well, which makes me think, has the standard of living gone up at all for any of you? Not that I can tell, at the very least. Then again, we introduced cars to our market a while ago, so maybe it did increase and I was just blind to it. You can surely see that better. And by the way, it seems as though the Austrian army is bugged because they're dying. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make here is we need to build electrics industries now, so that we can be the first to supply the world, of course, with telephones. Now, I am kind of running out of workforce here. Let's build it up in Toledo, just a healthy 20 levels, that's completely fine. And then pump up the railways here even more. I will export consumer products and you will like it. Alright, now things are really heating up. I wanted this video, this particular episode, to be the one where we just expand economically, you know, just building up a great consumer economy to see whether it works in 1.5. And now I got communism looming. I got the Italians maybe roaring up for the last time after all, and I got communism roaring right here in France. Not just, are we in a position where France rejected us? No. Our dynasty is actually out in France. They got knocked down by the Bonapartes. Emperor Victor Bonaparte is now in control of France, and A, that is bad, but B, the Paris Commune is even worse. What are they rebelling over? So the Paris Commune gets triggered if there is some radical stuff going on right here. Oh, they want freedom of assembly. Right. And obviously, the monarchy is not going to give them that, so we may see a revolution here. We may see actual communism in before our very eyes. This is obviously going to change. They reform this through the events, and if we get the French Commune as our neighbors, yeah, listen, I will support the NGF to the death, okay? Alright, listen, I didn't show you this, but we already made the leader of the trade unions disappear, who has now been changed into an actual nihilist, which is worse for us, just for the record. And now we're also making the intelligentsia appear. And this is just as we are passing secret police. It's not even actually a law yet. There's nothing to investigate here, okay, don't worry. Oh god, it's another nihilist. We have exchanged our social democrats for nihilists. Ooh, this is not looking hot. Now, what is looking hot on the other end of things is the electrics industries. Yep, they are making a lot of money. They're gonna be a huge boon for our economy, and we will be exporting them. Right now, I'm pretty sure this is entirely consumed, yep, by our very own pops. As I say, in past versions, selling your pops cars, selling your pops telephones didn't actually work. It didn't mean anything. In this version, that is a massive, massive potential source of income. And you can see that right here. And honestly, I'm feeling really bad about my diplomatic choices right now. I wanted to go with France. Obviously, that is out of the question. That was a big mistake. Primarily because, well, France was in a position where they could have been friendly and then weren't. By now, after I dissolved our trade treaty with Britain, Britain is very hostile towards us. If we take a look at this map right here, we can actually see, I used to look at France and say, wow, everybody hates France. I think everybody hates me. What we're going to do right away is I'm going to give up on this rivalry right here, and I'm going to give up on this rivalry right there. I need more friends, and this is exactly where we need to be. The alliance here was dissolved. There was not much going on there. We need to reforge this. I know I've been very, very sort of neutral, very, very reluctant to commit to anything, but now that we have multilateral alliances, I think the US and Germany is where I want to go. I don't really want to owe them anything, but I'm going to be honest with you. I want to be safe. I want to be safe from the wrath of the French and the British. Let's collect our friends here and then see what we can do. Bro, we just keep killing them. I'm not even kidding. We just keep killing them. This guy just came in. He's already ended, and now it's a communist. Oh my god. Communism. I think it's gonna be a factor in our future. Yeah, as you can see, my non-committal attitude made it so that I am not involved in this war. This is Germany against Britain over a whole bunch of colonial claims. Obviously, we also want to kind of fight over a couple of colonial claims, but things are heating up, and I think long-term rivalries are really forming. I mean, at this point, if you just look at us, NGF likes us, America likes us, and everybody else is kind of like, I don't know about that guy. I want to restore our relationship here, I think, with Austria. That is the best I can do. Ooh, yep, and indeed. The monarchy has once again collapsed in France. Once again. I love that. And we're looking at now a leadership of anarchists, communists, and social democrats. Now, they haven't introduced communism yet over here, but they do have state atheism. Very interesting. So we're looking at a situation where France is definitely a long-term enemy. I do not like France, they do not like me, and Germany doesn't like them either. That is a really good combination for me to be friends with Germany. We might actually have to declare a preemptive war against France here. If I do a regime change, state religion, monarchy, and appointed bureaucrats, I really want to do that. I really want to do that, but I think we need to get ready here for war. The other side of the coin here that I do really want to mention is the fact that I actually think we're going to time out. They had a pretty good time getting the Spectre haunting the world going, but if I am not wrong about my math here, we're just going to barely time out before this would actually complete, which quite frankly, I'm okay with. We don't need to be forced into communism here, and we were liberal enough and gave our workers enough wealth, relatively speaking, that they're not too angry. That's completely fine by me. Okay, listen, of course I lied. We're making this a bit more interesting. I raised our taxes and I brought up radicals quite significantly, making it so that we should actually be able to fulfill this, and then we're gonna see some communist agitation. Obviously, yeah, I'm being a bit extreme here, but hey, listen, this playthrough ends tomorrow, so we might as well go all in against France, against communism, against everything. Ooh, and there we go. Let's take a look at this new content. With socialist ideas sweeping across Spain, the de Bourbon government has determined that drastic concessions to arrest its progress must be considered. There's sufficient momentum for a rapid policy change. Oh, I see. And now that we have so much pressure from the communists, we have a choice here. Do we give in to some of the pressure, hopefully sort of, declawing the movement, or do we not give in? With socialist ideas sweeping across Spain, the de Bourbon government has determined that drastic concessions to arrest its progress must be considered. There is sufficient momentum for a rapid policy change. We are, admittedly, actually quite decent. I think the Catholic Church is not against giving people rights. It is what it is. The industrialists obviously would be against this, and my god, they are so damn powerful in our country right here. We really are a bit of a capitalist hellscape there. Offer greater wages for their labor. I do like this. I do like that, really. I want that law so bad, but I cannot see our government actually giving in there. I really want wage subsidies, okay? I also would be very happy about regulatory bodies, nothing wrong with this, but instead, we will not capitulate. Other interest groups are much more likely to select vanguardist, communist, or anarchist leaders. The rural folk are going to go communist, and the upper strata in Spain becomes more loyalist. Why don't you try, buddy? Why don't you try? And now, my friends, two important plays are going down. France is attempting to annex the Marina Kingdom, and Britain has come in, with a sway to transfer South Madagascar. So, if the Marina Kingdom wins, they exchange half their territory in favor of Britain, but they stay relatively independent. If France wins here, they take over the entire island. So, this is really who controls these waters. That is what is going on down there right now. And then on the other hand, we have this play. Now that is what I'm talking about. The Germans are immediately exploiting the French potential weakness. I gotta say potential here. They want to conquer Alsace-Lorraine. I will side with the Germans. These communists in the French Republic, oh my god, if I could ask for a government change from the Germans, I don't even know whether we could pull it off. Quite frankly, I'm even worried that, because I'm still on skirmish infantry, I am not on trench infantry. Look at this. I am worried that we could even hold against them, but somebody has to show Louis Charles de Lecluse that communism is not the answer. I will 100% help the Germans, but I think I'm in no position to actually lead this war. Oh, I could ask for a regime change. Oh my god. I will not liberate a country. I don't care for that. I do care for the regime change, though. Oh my god, that would be magnificent. Now, that is a lot of infamy. I already have a lot of infamy. I don't think I can do it. I would love to simply ask for an obligation. I could ask to revoke claims. No, I don't care whether you have claims on me. Who cares? Do I want any of their colonies? Not really. This is all I want. Okay, you know what? Germany, I will simply ask for a diplomatic pact from you. I want a bankroll. If you finance me, I will jump in. I will send all the Spanish men to their deaths. It's fine. All right, let me examine the troops here. It's all trench infantry. We are kind of screwed. I need 9 months to get trench works, and then I can build an army with trench works, and only then would I even stand a chance against the French. I think I exclusively exist here so that maybe the Germans can win one battle in Alsace-Lorraine. If they get Alsace-Lorraine, we will actually see Germany form as a powerful anti-French force, which is good because the French are communists, but can I even hold my own territory? Navarra, here, our most important location, is right at the border. This is gonna be really nasty, man. Alright, again, do remember, we're doing this to contain France. Long term, I want to change the government, maybe bring some of the Bourbons back on the throne, but right now, all that matters is that we hold. They don't have any positions here. They declared, basically, I guess, all their colonies relatively worthless. Oh no, it's because they're also at war with the British. We are so lucky. Oh my god. We are so lucky that the British are getting involved in this separate war. This, straight up, is a containment play against France because everybody hates communists. Let me study the map here, right? Oh yeah, everybody hates them. Let's do this. Bruh, this is actually so disgusting. The French are so much better at this. They are destroying the Germans. The Germans, much like ourselves, are primarily on skirmish. Maybe the Germans, much like ourselves, don't even have trench, but yeah, I don't think that this is going to be a German victory. Who's this general? Jaroslav Dabrowski. Ah, that's the Polish guy. I don't think we're going to win this. I think France knows too much about warfare that we don't. Yeah, I'm even trying a naval invasion here. It is just not working because, well, welcome to trench warfare. This will cost hundreds of thousands of Germans their lives, but we just don't have the technology to beat France. This is not a smart war. Oh, it's a close one though. It's a close one though. Germany is attacking with a whole lot of troops right here, but they're not winning. It's so devastating to see this. The Germans are really just running into their death against full-on trench infantry here. If I get the tech in time, listen, I'm gonna build up a crazy amount of trench barracks, but we'll have to see. No, they're actually doing it. We're actually, I think we're just overwhelming the French. We're having so many of ours die. Oh my god, these numbers. Okay, wait a minute. This is disgusting. 38,000 dead versus 10,000 dead. But they're coming out on top. I mean, what do you want me to say? They just need to take one location in Alsace-Lorraine and it is over for the French. It will be over. Alright, it is trench time, my friends. We got the leads on tour. I'm going to leave them where they are. They're not doing hot, but hey, I can't do anything about that. Let's create an army in Iberia, and then let's take a look at what we can do here. This is you, yep. We obviously want to build up trench infantry. Artillery, I don't think we care about any of this right now. I need labor force, and I need it local. Badajoz looks good to me. Nobody works there anyway. Everybody's very poor. I still haven't really built that up. Asturias looks good. Yep, there you go. Castile, very nice. Let's build that up. Let's pump up these numbers. I need troops. I need bodies to throw at the Germans. Oh, but during all this, we fill the skyscraper. How nice. Okay, so I have now built this 6th army, and I'm actually going to rename this into the trenchies. Okay, these are the trenchies, and they are here to defend our rights in Germany. I sent them here, and they're now defending under the command of a German general. But you can see that this is actually very useful because we have good stats. We are trench infantry. So yeah, from that point of view, I think we can win this. We need one battle now in Alsace-Lorraine. We won some, we lost some over there. One battle, and then we can capitulate the French. Let's get this done. Folks, I hereby declare total Spanish dominance. Let me just check this, right? Are we in this attack? Yep. So many Spaniards right here in this attack, fighting the French, destroying them in Alsace-Lorraine, and without a doubt, leading to a victory in this war. Germany will form, Alsace-Lorraine will be there, communism defeated. I mean, we gotta again go in again for the regime change, but this is good. Wow, yeah. After years of pressure, the multi-front war against the democratic socialists in the French Republic is now bearing fruit. Alsace-Lorraine will be German, The French will have no say in the Marina Kingdom anymore. And we finally have modernized our army. This is great. Oh, and on top of that, I guess, the bankroll from the Germans has been insane for us. Like, just really good. And there you have it. The war is over. The war is over. My coffers are filled. And I think in the next episode, there's the German Empire. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my god. My best friends, Kaiser Joachim. They did it. They actually did it. I am so happy about this. The French Republic got completely shoved into a locker and they had it coming. Next video is do or die. Next video is communism or fascism or whatever the hell we're doing, but we're having plenty of wars. We're going to have plenty of economic, expansion, although this episode definitely already went heavily into this. Let's just revisit this here for just one moment. If you take a good look at our productions, then you will see, where is it, that we have now a massive industry behind everything going on of telephones, and my god, we are selling them to the rest of the world. This is so profitable. The same obviously also goes for cars. We can build that up more and more until the other nations learn how to do it themselves. And I actually noticed, and I love this by the way, look at that, Bavaria is producing cars. It's so good. We are looking at, I think, a fun last episode coming for us here, because we definitely have the boogeyman, and I think it's time that we show them where their power ends, yeah? Let me just take a look around. Uluru is basically independent. Wow, that is very powerful. The German Empire are now our neighbors, and I definitely, in the next episode, plan to finish things off here. I am looking forward to the likely implosion by the Qing. And then, I mean, we gotta settle the score with the French fully. They kicked out our dynasty. I gotta change that regime. No other options.